All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Integrity Leadership Call. Glad to have everyone on this evening. Love, as always, love to see your shining, smiling faces. And we are still in Code of the Extraordinary Mind. We're chapter 6. We are in chapter 6. This is the second part of chapter 6. Deacon Phil Sorrentino and I, last week, we we handled and facilitated the call because when the preacher was not in town, the deacons were around. And so now that the preacher is around, the deacons are going to sit down. But we're going to have a little review, okay? A little review of what was going on. The chapter 6 is Bend Reality, where we identify the ultimate state of human experience. And yet last week was really good. We were touching on what happened with Vishen Lakhiani, the author. He said a shift happened in him, and it was 8 months after the shift. 8 months after the shift, stuff just started going great for him. And he was talking about bending reality, things that happened. His business exploded. His work became fun. He and the company started getting dream clients, and he had an amazing team. And we were talking about bending reality for fun and profit. For those of you who were there on the call last week, and those of you who weren't there, it was a really great call. One of the things that really stood out, he said, it's all happening in your mind, and stop postponing your happiness. Okay, don't wait. And what he was saying is, don't wait for, you know how we say, okay, as soon as I get this, then I'll be happy. He said, no, don't do that. You be happy now. Be happy now, and then those things that you want will come. And he said, keep the big goals. Just don't tie your happiness to your goals. And that really stuck out to me. And he said, be happy now. You know, your thoughts and beliefs do create your reality, but only when your present state is joyful. Okay? When your present state is joyful, your thoughts and beliefs do create your reality, and that is so true. And yeah, I hear Antonio say it all the time. You gotta be grateful. You do. You have to be grateful, and you have to say like he loves to say, like Abraham Hicks does, tuned in, tapped in, turned on. And we talked about that last week as well. And then the last thing I'll touch on, the 4 states of human living. What the author was talking about, 4 states of human living. And it says the negative spiral was one of them. It says in this one, you're not happy in the now, nor do you have a vision of your future. Well, number 2, the second state is the current reality trap. He says this state feels great because you're happy in the now. And then the third one was stress and anxiety. This is the state he was in, he said, during the years he struggled to build his business. And then the fourth one was bending reality. He said, this is the ideal state when you're happy in the now and you have a vision for the future. And the 2 elements of bending reality, be happy in the now. He kept repeating that. Be happy in the now and develop an exciting vision for your future. And then the last thing were questions. It was 8 statements. And if you answer, it was the three choices were not at all true, sometimes true, and very true. And it was an exercise. And when you have time I can read them? Okay. So I'm going to read these 8 statements, and then you just tell yourself, okay, not at all true, sometimes true, and very true. Number 1 says, I love my current job to the point where it does not feel like work. Okay. Is that not at all true, sometimes true, or very true? Number 2, my work is meaningful to me. Third statement, there are often moments at work that make me so happy, the time just flies by. Statement number 4, when things go wrong, I don't worry at all. I just know something good is on the horizon. Statement 5, I feel excited about my future, knowing even better things are always on their way. Number 6, stress and anxiety don't seem to faze me much. I trust in my ability to attain my goals. Number 7 says, I look forward to the future because I have unique and bold goals on the horizon. And finally, number 8, I spend a good amount of time thinking excitedly about my visions for the future. And what Vision said after the exercise, he said, if you answered very true to statements 1 through 4, you're likely happy in the now. If you answer very true to statements 5 through 8, you likely have a good vision for your future. But if you can answer very true for all 8 statements, you're likely in the state of bending reality. He said most people, however, find that they tend to be able to answer very true to either the happiness-related statements or the vision-related statements, but not both. And so that's what we're striving to get to if you're not there already. If we're not there already, to the bending reality, the state of bending reality. I can attest, because I have seen and witnessed, that Antonio bends reality every day because he stays tuned in. He stays tuned in to source. He stays tapped in. For those of us, he just said every day, and for those of us who love the protagonist in the sacred text called the Bible, you see that I'm always tapped into the Holy Spirit, and I'm never off. I'm always turned on. And so that's the state that we have to strive to be in if we're not there already. Great state to be in from what I have witnessed. And so just wanted to review that. One of the other things that he talked about, he said there are insights for hacking happiness and insights for hacking vision. And one of the insights for hacking happiness, he says, where did I see it? We make it hard for ourselves to achieve happiness because we've been trained to think about it in the wrong way. Many of us have fallen into the trap of if-then model of happiness. What I was saying earlier, if this happens, then I'll be happy. Or if I get to the right job, if I find the perfect mate, if I buy that dream house, if I have a baby, if I write a best-selling book, etc., then I'll be happy. And Vishnu was saying it's flawed. It's a flawed model. That's a flawed model in 2 ways to him. For one, it puts happiness outside of our own power. And for 2, when we're happy, we perform better, attract others, and in general, kick ass in life. That's what the book said. That's what he said. Okay, so which is true. And then for the insights for hacking vision, he said he lost count of the number of books he read that gave instructions on goal setting, from growing a business to simply getting organized. But just as we've been trained to think about happiness in a limiting way, so modern goal setting leads us astray. It happens in 3 ways. Way number 1, we confuse rules with goals. Now, for those of you who haven't had the opportunity to read the book just yet, Mr. Lakiani created a word called rules, and it stands for BS rules, bullshit rules. And so we confuse rules with goals, he was saying. Now, when we set a goal that we must have a certain kind of job or a certain kind of lifestyle or a certain kind of appearance, often these are rules installed by society, which is true. He said extraordinary minds pay little attention to the infectious wants of the culturescape. Instead, they create their own goals. Now, a lot of us, or if not all of us, have been around long enough to see Antonio create his own goals. Okay? Thus, the ATS Business University. Nobody does that. This is the first one I've ever seen where, first university, let alone business university, to where people love to come and listen and participate and get involved for 2 hours, all the time, every day, nonstop, and love to keep coming back. He created that, okay? And so things like that are what we, want to work on to becoming, that having that extraordinary mind. He said, way number 2, we can only visualize what we know. And he said, while there's nothing wrong with visualizing and pursuing what we think will make us happy, we can really only visualize what we already know. What if there are even more wonderful visions and goals you could attain, gifts that only you can give to the world, if only those unseen, unknown visions could be brought to the surface. And then he said, way number 3, We're notoriously bad at predicting just what we can do in a given time frame. He said we tend to A, bite off more than we can chew in the short term, and B, not expect nearly enough of ourselves in the long term. Both tendencies work against successful visioneering. We tend to overestimate what we can do in 1 year and underestimate what we can do in 3 years. And so what he was saying, we're bad at predicting really what we can do. A lot of times we'll say, oh, no, I can't do that. That's too short of a time frame. Pretty sure you can, because your mind is a human computer. Yes, you can do that. You can definitely do that. Or, oh, no, that's too long. I don't think I can make it to. You don't know what you can do until you do it. And so I'm always saying, you want to strive to get into the state of bending reality, and don't wait for something to happen in order for you to be happy. You got to be happy now. You have to be happy now. Also, you want to make sure that you are happy now, because I really believe that until you're happy now, until you're grateful now, until you're joyful now, those things that you really want and desire, they won't come. Because if you're not happy and in that tuned in, tapped in, turned on vibration, why, the universe is not going to say, hey, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is the review for Chapter 6. I am now going to turn it over to the founder, CEO of the ATSJR Company. He has a lovely shirt on by Team Ease. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Antonio T. Smith Jr.
Oh, all right. That was the most fantastic review. I greatly appreciate you had Grace do that, because I was not here last week, and Phil and Susan, always the studious, esoteric extraordinaires that they are, that they masterfully navigated through the book and taught everything. I wanted to give as much detail as possible because I'm not talking about the book. That was the narrow version. Now I'm going to talk about the concept in an extremely wide, esoteric manner. You should know this first. You are absolutely bending reality without knowing it, and you're not doing too much of a good job. With that being said, I want to take you to a real scientific experiment. The details will be in the video. You can look up the scientific experiment. It's in one of my favorite movies/documentaries called What the Bleep Do We Know? I didn't even know about the movie until I bought the book. It is Quantum Physics by two quantum physicists and their assistant, who is a budding quantum physicist herself, even though she's not a quantum physicist. We start here in 2 minutes, 18 seconds.
Exhibit comes to us from Japan and Mr. Emoto. Mr. Emoto became terribly interested in the molecular structure of water and what affects it. Now, water is the most receptive of the four elements. Mr. Emoto thought perhaps it would respond to non-physical events. So he set up a series of studies, applied mental stimuli, and photographed it with a dark field microscope. This first picture is a picture of water from the Fujiwara Dam. And this picture is the same water after receiving a blessing from a Zen Buddhist monk. Now, in this next series of pictures, Mr. Emoto printed out words, taped them to bottles of distilled water, and let them out overnight. This first photograph is a picture of the pure distilled water, just the essence of itself. These subsequent photographs, as you can see, are each different. This is the chi of love. And we move along here to thank you. And you can see where he taped that to this bottle here. That if you read Japanese, you already knew that. Now, Mr. Emoto speaks of the thought or intent being the driving force in all of this. The science of how that actually affects the molecules is unknown, except to the water molecules, of course. And it's really fascinating when you keep in mind that 90% of our bodies are water.
Makes you wonder, doesn't it? If thoughts can do that to water, imagine what our thoughts can do to us.
That is an absolute real, yes, no doubt, no doubt. It's an absolute real scientific experiment. I am not done yet messing with your head. That's absolutely real, but don't take my word. I have sent you a link, a Google link. Every bit of the scientific data is on that link. It's in the chat right now. Grace, do me a favor right now, wherever you communicate to people in this class, put it in there too, just in case someone is on the phone that don't want to access the chat. That's a real scientific link. What you just learned there is yes. Okay, what you just learned there is your emotions are so powerful. They affect the shape, mood, consistency of water itself. But I'm not done. Deanna, go ahead.
I've actually tested this on myself. Remember when he said like 98% of your body is water?
Indeed. That's why I brought it up.
So that when I feel myself getting frustrated or irritated, I would actually go on my arm and write a word, like with my finger, just trace it. So I would write like joy, smile, happy, and it actually shifted me. Like I can feel my mood change, just by putting that energy, just by writing positive energy on myself, just with my finger. It's all sweet. So you played that. I was like, oh, I remember this. I actually did this and it actually works. Like I did I actually turned myself to a science project. So if y'all don't believe the video, believe that at least.
Oh, no, it's science. If you don't want to believe in it, that's you. You don't believe in global warming, gravity, or cardboard paper, right? So you just don't believe in anything, and that's okay. That's completely okay. Now, second video I want to show you before I finish messing up your head is you should all know that reality is not real whatsoever. It's not. But don't worry about it. Don't take my word for it. We'll talk about it here in a second. Let us go now.
Hello, mortal. The night sky is dark. Chocolate is sweet. Your friendship circles will shrink with time. These are all facts that constitute our reality. Better said, your reality. A reality that is actually not really real, as you'll soon see. Take this apple. Red. Solid. Crunchy. Except this is not the real apple. This is the human brain apple. Show it to some alien with a different visible spectrum, and you get this. The alien brain apple. And maybe the alien has razor sharp teeth, and when they bite into the apple, it doesn't make the crunchy sound at all. The point is, both the human and the alien apples are different interpretations of the same object, the real apple. And if you remove any observers and their subjective perspectives, how would this objective apple look like? And this applies to the entire universe. Anything that you see, hear, and feel is just your subjective interpretation of the objective reality. Although a bit different, Plato's theory of forms claims there is a non-physical perfect form of every object, of which the real objects are mere interpretations. We have established that your brain acts as some sort of reality converter, from the objective to the subjective one that you perceive right now. Your brain converts photons into colors, air disturbances into sound, and nerve signals into sensory information. These subjective experiences are called qualia. But remove the converter, and reality stops making sense. There still will be photons, sound waves, and temperature, but there will be no more colors, sounds, or sensory feelings. There is a thought experiment that explores this topic. If a tree falls in a forest and no one is around to hear it, Does it make a sound? The tree will make disturbances in the air when falling, but it will not generate the sensation of sound that we're accustomed to. Without any observers, the universe would exist, but without any qualities such as colors, temperatures, or even the speed of the flow of time. Without anyone to observe it, the entire lifespan of the universe might very well last an instant, or conversely, an eternity. Similarly, the past only exists inside your brain, in the form of memories. The objective reality only exists during the infinitesimally small instant called the present. You could even argue that because of...
I'm going to stop right there for a second, because I am not done messing with your head as of yet, and I didn't need this whole video. Now, Antonio, conjecture, silly talk. Go ahead, Phil.
One of my favorite Robin Williams lines, and he was born, by the way, 10 days before I was, same year. He said, reality, what an interesting concept.
Indeed. And Robin, first off, geniuses are everywhere. You don't need to be an Einstein to be a genius. There are mechanical geniuses. There are comedic geniuses, but Robin Williams is just a flat out genius. Not just him. Well, I'm not going to remember his name. Nope. George Carlin. Yeah. What another genius. What another genius. But don't mind me. I am a little wacky defect of something. I don't know. I don't know how to degrade myself properly. But just imagine me degrading myself and let me keep going now further to what is now more. I have 2 more videos to show you, and then we gonna talk. And we gonna talk with it, because talking is fantastic, right? We're gonna talk well, and talking is very fantastic. So let's go. You can see the screen, right? Yes. Now let's get into real hard science, quantum physics, my favorite. We're gonna be quiet for that for right now. Quantum physics, my favorite. I have more to talk about.
And here we are, the granddaddy of all quantum weirdness, the infamous double slit experiment. To understand this experiment, we first need to see how particles, or little balls of matter, act. If we randomly shoot a small object, say a marble, at the screen, we see a pattern on the back wall where they went through the slit and hit. Now, if we add a second slit, we would expect to see a second band duplicated to the right. Now, let's look at waves. The wave hits the slit and radiate out, striking the back wall with the most intensity directly in line with the slit. The line of brightness on the back screen shows that intensity. This is similar to the line the marbles make. But when we add the second slit, something different happens. If the top of one wave meets the bottom of another wave, they cancel each other out. So now there is an interference pattern on the back wall. Places where the 2 tops meet are the highest intensity, the bright lines, and where they cancel, there is nothing. So, when we throw things, that is, matter, through 2 slits, we get this, 2 bands of hits. And with waves, we get an interference pattern of many bands. Good so far. Now, let's go quantum. An electron is a tiny, tiny bit of matter, like a tiny marble. Let's fire a stream through one slit. It behaves just like the marble, a single band. So, if we shoot these tiny bits through 2 slits, we should get, like the marble, 2 bands. What? An interference pattern. We fired electrons, tiny bits of matter through. pattern like waves, not like little marbles. How? How could pieces of matter create an interference pattern like a wave? It doesn't make sense. But physicists are clever. They thought maybe those little balls are bouncing off each other and creating that pattern. So they decide to shoot electrons through one at a time. There is no way they could interfere with each other. But after an hour of this, the same interference pattern is seen to emerge. The conclusion is inescapable. The single electron leaves as a particle, becomes a wave of potentials, goes through both slits, and interferes with itself to hit the wall like a particle. But mathematically, it's even stranger. It goes through both slits and it goes through neither. And it goes through just one and it goes through just the other. All of these possibilities are in superposition with each other. But physicists were completely baffled by this. So they decided to peek and see which slit actually goes through. They put a measuring device by one slit, see which one it went through, and let it fly. But the quantum world is far more mysterious than they could have imagined. When they observed, the electron went back to behaving like a little marble. It produced a pattern of two bands, not an interference pattern of many. The very act of measuring or observing which slit it went through meant it only went through one, not both. The electron decided to act differently. So it was aware it was being watched. And it was here that physicists stepped forever into the strange, never world of quantum events. What is matter? Marbles or waves? And waves of what? And what does an observer have to do with any of this? The observer collapsed the wave function simply by observing.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the very famous double slit theory that has revolutionized our world in the last 100 years. It is unfair. Because of that theory, because of that scientific research, you now have CD players. Because of that research, because of that theory, you now have credit cards. What are you talking about, Antonio? Both the laser and the CD player, the lens, and the
scanner,
and the scanner, and the credit card magnetic strip on the back are all what you call quantum mechanic features. I said that because I want you to understand this isn't hypothetical. We're actively using this stuff now. And for your last video, my very favorite, that's why I saved it for last. Oh, go ahead, Phil. I see you're mute.
Couple things. Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And then Patrick Lancioni, who did the advantage and 5 functions of a professional team, he's working on geniuses, and he says there's 6 types of geniuses. There's the genius of wonder. They ponder the possibility of greater potential and opportunity in any given situation. There's the genius of invention, and this is what we normally aspire genius to, creating original and novel ideas and solutions. But there's also the genius of discernment, intuitively and instinctively evaluating ideas and situations. Then there's the genius of galvanizing, the gift of relying, inspiring, and organizing others to take action. How about enablement, providing encouragement and assistance in an idea for a project? And then the last one is tenacity, pushing projects or tasks to completions to achieve results. And he makes a point is to identify what your geniuses are and create a team where you cover all 6 geniuses. And you also stay away from what you don't have a genius is. Find out your genius and make sure that's where you stay. And then where you don't have a genius, you bring somebody else who has a genius in that capacity to reinforce and create the whole team.
That was incredible. That I couldn't have prayed for a better value than that. It's about to set up what I'm about to do. I didn't know there were 6 types of geniuses, but what I can tell you for sure from that is if you can find your genius, you will bend reality. There is no doubt about it. There is absolutely no doubt about it. But I ain't finished messing with you yet. I haven't even started teaching. These are my words. Everybody else. I haven't even started teaching. This is my favorite because I'll set this one up. As you all know, I am a budding quantum physicist. It's if I wasn't doing this, if I did not become a millionaire in 2016, I was going to the University of Houston to do one or two things, one of 3 things. My ultimate goal was to get my doctorate in quantum physics, but not quantum physics itself. It was experimental. Anyway, whatever. I was going to the University of Houston to get my doctorate in mathematics. Yeah, that was Grace said God bless. So a doctorate in mathematics. I still have it on my dream wall right now. Actually, I just took it out. But they said since I came from a liberal arts school, I had to go back to my bachelor's and do that, which I was like, I'm not going to do that. I got a master's, and I'm not going to go be a non-bachelor person. But that wasn't even a problem. It wasn't a problem of ego. I just knew you was trying to get all my money. We wasn't doing that, Adonia. We wasn't doing that. You know what I'm saying? I was already $105,000 in student loan debt in the first place. We're not going to do it all over again. So then I decided, you know what, I'll take a different path. So I decided to go to cognitive developmental neuroscience. And I was going to get my doctorates in developmental cognitive neuroscience. You can Google it, Grace. Google University of Houston developmental cognitive neuroscience. Google it and see if they still offer that degree. University of Houston developmental cognitive neuroscience. And I was going to go there. And I was doing everything I could because I was inventing the master algorithm. The master algorithm. I'm setting up this next video. The master algorithm. But hey, don't take my word for it. Let's see. Everyone always wants to know, hey, man, is he really a millionaire? Is he really a blank? I get that all the time. I get that so much, y'all. Well, I don't get it. They ask y'all that, and then y'all come back and tell me. I don't ask me. You're right. They never ask me about it. They always ask y'all. But here is probably the first website me and Tempest ever did. No one knows this is how I make the bulk of my income. It's why y'all pay $19 a month for all this information, okay? Because I get paid from checks. And if you look at this, this is how old this website is. Look at Brian. Look at just so you know, okay? In fact, we didn't even have Michelle yet, so she's not even up here yet. This is how old this website is. I haven't updated it yet. But watch it. Code Inc. mission is to create the best artificial intelligence. The rest doesn't matter. Now, here's what's important there. I say, you know what, since you're not going to let me do what I want to do, I'm going to study neuroscience because I believe that the master algorithm, that's one algorithm that you don't have to teach anything else. Appreciate you, Kara. You don't have to teach anything else. And it learns all. It's like the Lord of the Rings, the one ring that rules them all, the one algorithm that rules them all. It will most certainly, the master algorithm will most certainly either liberate mankind forever, you'll be free, or it will be Terminator. It depends on which side of the technology you stand on. You know, Terminator, Skynet, you know what I'm talking about? Okay, it means that I'm going to kill the world, the whole world. Robots are going to take over. All right, there you go. Now, from that, I said to myself, self, and myself answered as what people have said. And I said to myself, well, I've got to be able to do something. And then I was going, and then I made a lot of money. And I said, you know, I'm not going to school no more. And then that story is over, okay? Did you pull up the degree?
Yeah.
All right, pull it up. Share your screen. Share your screen. Share your screen. This is exactly what I was going for. And while she's doing, oh, there it is. Okay, she's coming up. Yeah, that's what you said. That's it. I meant what I said. I wasn't making up no degrees. Click it. Yeah, I wouldn't make it. My journey ain't fake. I meant what I said. There it is. All right, there it is right there. Developmental cognitive behavioral neuroscience. I left out behavior. And this is what got me into CBT. This is why I'm so good at cognitive behavioral therapy, is because I was studying that to be able to pass the GRE I had to take to do this. Yeah, definitely. So anyway, I just want to show y'all the credence of that story. Now, why did I bring that up? Because during this path, 2015, for some strange reason, I'm not sure why, don't you? I got addicted to Einstein. I'm not. It's one of those divine things. I couldn't stop reading about Einstein, and then I started reading Einstein's research, and I started mastering every single thing Einstein ever wrote. I started reading his old papers. I started reading biographies, and I became a master at the special theory of relativity that then became the general theory of relativity. And I couldn't stop. So this video is my favorite. It only includes Einstein at the very end, but it's my favorite of the videos I'm showing you thus far because it fits. It blew my mind so much that it shook my reality. Has that ever happened to y'all? To where you ever said, I don't know nothing. I thought I knew something. I don't know jack. Squat diddly. Okay.
Like I've been lied to. Something done happened.
Something
Come on,
happen.
bro.
Something doesn't happen. BBC, Brian Cox, one of my very favorite scientists. BBC, Brian Cox. 4 minutes and 41 seconds. Should you endure this video, your life will be changed forever, and then I will start teaching.
This is NASA's Space Power Facility near Cleveland, Ohio, and it is the world's biggest vacuum chamber. It's used to test spacecraft in the conditions of outer space, and it does that by pumping out 30 tons of air in this chamber until there are about 2 grams left. And it's kind of got an eccentric construction, which is part of its history. It was built in the 1960s as a nuclear test facility to test nuclear propulsion systems. And that meant that they built it out of aluminium to make the radiation easier to deal with. Aluminium is not the best thing, the strongest material to build a vacuum chamber out of. So they built outer concrete skin, which is part radiation shielding and part an external pressure vessel, so that this thing can take the force that's present on the outside when it's pumped out to the conditions of outer space. Galileo's experiment was simple. He took a heavy object and a light one and dropped them at the same time to see which fell fastest. Now, in this case, the feathers fell to the ground at a slower rate than the bowling ball because of air resistance. So in order to see the true nature of gravity, we have to remove the air. It takes 3 hours to pump out the 800,000 cubic feet of air from the chamber.
We dropped 2 millitor in the last 30 minutes.
But once it's complete, there's a near perfect vacuum inside.
6104 tank, 10% open. Station 1, go for drop. PCB 30-1, pressure set point 240 psi. We are go for drop. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, count it on, 2, 1, release.
Look at that. They came down backwards. Wow. Look. Exactly the same.
Feathers don't move.
Nothing. That's just brilliant. Isaac Newton would say that the ball and the feather fall because there's a force pulling them down, gravity. But Einstein imagined the scene very differently. The happiest thought of his life was this: the reason the bowling ball and the feather fall together is because they're not falling. They're standing still. There is no force acting on them at all. He reasoned that if you couldn't see the background, there'd be no way of knowing that the balls and the feathers were being accelerated towards the earth. So he concluded they weren't.
And right there, that video messed my whole life up. Go ahead, Phil.
They asked Dr. Einstein, they said, "What's your phone number?" He said, "Just a minute." He goes and he gets the phone number and he looks it up. I said, "Dr. Einstein, you're the most brilliant man on the planet. You got to look up your own phone number?" He says, "I never put anything in here that I could look up somewhere else." And I thought, boy, I wish I had that in a third grade to lay on those nuns.
I know that's right. That's fantastic. My friends, before I start teaching, let me confess. I had no idea about a lot of things in this video. I knew that 1 pound of feathers is the same thing as 1 pound of meatballs. I knew that because 1 pound is 1 pound. It's a riddle, right? There's a lot of things in this video that disturbed me greatly. For one, how can you suck air out of a room? That in itself did not escape me. That was difficult for my brain to digest without argument. And then secondly, who figured out how to suck air out of a room? That was the second thing. Like who did that? who figured that out? And then who how do you build something? Like what is the thought process? What are you? You are lighting incense, smoking weed, eating pork and beans or something, and then you decide, you know what? I'm going to just build a whole building that takes air out of a room. This makes no sense to me. This makes no sense. I was fully aware of replacing air with carbon monoxide or dioxide. But to remove something you can't see about you? How? I know if I get trapped in a bank safe, I can use all the oxygen and replace it, but to remove something I can't touch? Ashley, do we ever see wind? Or do we see the effects of wind? Can you see a tornado? Or can you see the debris as the tornado is rushing around? I'm confused. But watching those feathers drop as heavy as a bowling ball, that blew my mind, Abby. But it didn't blow my mind more than the fact when I watched those feathers crash, my brain couldn't hold that. No, my brain could not hold feathers crashing. Are y'all hearing what I'm saying? Feathers aren't supposed to crash. That feathers, I bet I'm willing to stake my scotch on the fact that you've never heard feathers and crash in the same sentence. It makes no sense that feathers can crash. The only thing feathers are supposed to do is fluff my pillow, and over a sleepover at my cousin's house when we were kids, you put the feather under my nose, I do something silly, and then you make me hit the toothpaste or the permanent marker on my face. That is it. You know, at grandmother's house in the den with the heater on, that you got to put the pot on top of the heater so the house don't get so stuffy, because y'all know what I'm talking about, huh? When you're staying so close to it that you might fool around and burn them little X's, y'all know what I'm talking about, in your clothes. Because that heater that you got to get a notebook piece of paper and twist it like this, because you ain't got no long lighter. Help me, somebody. Then you light the white paper and you stick it in the side of the heater after you fool around with the pilot for a little bit. That stove. I mean, that heater. That's the only thing a feather's supposed to do. That's it. I'm flabbergasted. But when Einstein sat there and told me that if I removed the background, I couldn't tell if I was falling, that changed my whole reality. Because I couldn't present an argument against his thought experiment. And I begin to say to myself, why can I not disprove something that he hasn't even experimented? My friends, I'm teaching now. Whatever you think you know about reality, you do not know. Here's how your brain works. Your brain is so arrogant, it refuses to be wrong. Your brain will see an animal you've never seen before and then go through the database of images your brain has within it and say, I don't know what that was, but it looked like a rat. How many of you say possums look like rats? Yeah, I know what I'm talking about. Don't fool me. Because your brain says, before you ever figured out what a possum was, you said that was a big rat. But if you were to be honest with yourself and put the two pictures next to each other, you could find over 100 differences between a possum and a rat. And that's the truth. They are not, I'm not even sure, I've never seen a rat's eyes glow. Possums do. I'm pretty sure rats' eyes glow, but I'm just telling you, just because something has a tail and a body and it's gray doesn't mean it looks alike. Phil has a head and a body and the buttocks, and me and him do not look alike. This is fair, okay? This is fair. This is fair. And then I begin to think even harder. Well, what else did I bring to that? Taste something you have not tasted before and let it be fried, and your brain is going to say it tastes like chicken. Why? because at least Americans, we eat so much chicken. When we can't figure something out, our brain compensates to something we once seen. Which brings me now to the Native Americans in 1492. Quantum physics says that the reason Christopher Columbus was able to do what Christopher Columbus did, no disrespect to European ideology, let's just do quantum physics. Native Americans were already here, no problem. We're not even arguing that. But they could not see Christopher Columbus's ship. Why? Because Native Americans had never seen a ship. How can your brain have a picture for something it never seen? Put a pin in that, Marcello. We are coming back to it. How can your brain process something it has not seen? It cannot. We're coming back to that. Give me a second. The ripples in the waves rippled. The waves rippled, the ripples raved, but they couldn't see a ship. And one of the people who was well trusted saw the break in the waves, couldn't figure it out, and finally the ship appeared. How did the ship appear, Antonio? Well, the ship was never seen, but when a human jumped out of it, the ship came up. Rewind, press play. Ships were not relevant to these people. That's not to say ships had never come to America or North America, excuse me. But ships had never been seen. So what happened here? Humans have been seen. You don't have to believe me. Just let me keep going. You'll believe me in about 3 minutes. And what happened is when the trusted person, when Phil told the community that trust him, there's a ship out there with people in it, people said, well, I believe in Phil, so it has to be there. And then their brain saw it. Can you imagine seeing 8 tons of material and not being able to see it? Surely, Adonia, I'm tripping. There's no way that y'all can see 8 tons of something and never see it. No, Antonio, first off, I have eyes. And there is no way on planet Earth that I would ever have eyes and not be able to see 8 tons of something. It's impossible, Antonio. It's impossible that I would ever miss something so big. How many of you have seen your mother, your grandmother, your cousin buy a car? Anybody ever seen somebody buy a car? How many of you are willing to admit in transparency that until that car was purchased, you've never seen that car before? Can I get some hands up? Never seen it before. Don't fool me now. Don't fool me. All right. Okay. But soon as they drove that car to your reality, you start seeing that car everywhere in the next 7 days. Help me, somebody.
Come on now. That's the truth. Now, that is the truth. I don't know how that works. Come on now.
Come on. It's quantum physics. You can come on. You did this car. Now, surely they didn't make that car that day, Ashley. Come on now. You want me to believe in that? You want me to believe that they just made that car that day in your city? You must live in Detroit in the manufacturing plant. Clearly you do. Because if you live somewhere in Texas and you seeing a car for the first time, it probably wouldn't invent it in Texas. We just got Tesla for the first time.
Have you seen like
Yeah, no doubt. Think about this, y'all. Y'all never seen this car before, don't you? Ain't never seen this car before. And now, all of a sudden, you see this car everywhere. You start doing stuff like me. Well, I don't remember the license plate, but I remember the first 2. It started with CZ. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Is that my mama? No, that's GQ. That's not. Yeah, all right. It's just me and Deanna. Just me. No, nobody else. That right there. Now, if the Native Americans can miss 8 tons of wood, why are you missing 2 tons? That's 4,000 pounds. Why are you missing 2 tons of not only metal that's twisted, aluminum, but controlled explosion over 10,000 nuts and bolts? How dare you miss that many moving parts together? Surely that car has drove past you every day. But until somebody in your reality put it in your reality, the car never drove by you. Let me tell you what your brain does through quantum physics. Your brain took a 2-ton vehicle. You ain't had no picture for it. So it literally took this vehicle, removed it from your brain, and then put the background there. And instead of you seeing 4,000 pounds, you just saw bricks, sky, plants. You don't have to believe me, but you know that happens to you all the time. Antonio, what are you saying here? I'm saying this very simply, Abby. If you miss 2 tons, 4,000 pounds, what's to say you ain't missed your breakthrough? Rewind, press play. If you missed all those moving pieces, what's to say when Phil told you something on the ATS call, when Susan then backed up what Phil said, and then when Susan told you something on the ATS call, and then Phil backed up with what Susan said, what's to say you didn't miss it because you weren't ready for what they said because you had no picture for the advice they just gave? Oh, no, I set that up pretty good. You're not allowed to act like I didn't just say something.
I'm gonna say you did. You did because I did it. You're right. You spoke it because I couldn't see it for a long time. You're right. What I needed to see for a long time, even after I did it, because I have all the notes and everything and read it and everything. But you're right. You're absolutely positively right.
Long time. Psychologists call it third party. Marketers call it third party validation. You got to get somebody else out there. Like if you love Antonio, then Antonio telling you ain't going to work. You got to go get, Bernard to say something that Antonio been telling you for the last 2 years. And you go, you know what? And I'd be like, I've been telling you that. Y'all all been through it before. You've all been through it before. So pay attention. So what's happening here? The whole time, everything I've been saying for the last 15, 20 minutes, everything that has been happening is you've been bending reality so you can struggle. Now let's put it into the positive. My friends, I don't stress at all. I think the last time I stressed, I can't remember the last time I stressed. I apologize. I'm trying to think about it. I can't remember. I genuinely can't remember. Because I understand, my belief, and this, I rarely tell y'all my beliefs. I rarely tell you my beliefs. We've been doing this for a long time now with the business university. I've probably given you my beliefs overtly. That means out front, maybe 6 times, maybe. If I'm talking about women's equals rights, I'm gonna get that to you every chance I get. Like women are equal, you stop all that BS, right? I'm gonna give you that every chance I get. But besides that, I really give you my opinion. I really give you my view. I believe we are in a simulation. I believe in simulation theory. I do. I just do. There is enough evidence to suggest that we are more than likely in a simulation than real life. It's the truth. It just is. We have more evidence. Nah, you don't have to agree with me. I'm not expecting you to agree with me. Just Google, actually go to YouTube. That'll help you better. And then YouTube simulation theory. And then voila. You would be just fine. But there's something about simulation theory that I want to bring out to Adonia and Ashley. It means that if this is a computer program, you can tap into that program and then do what you wish. Can I say it again? Yeah. If this is a computer program, if we're in a simulation, if we're in the matrix, as private messages just sent me, then we ought to be able to tap into that matrix. Now, someone says, no, Antonio, you can't do that. But what do you call the law of attraction? I'm confused. Is not prayer tapping into the matrix, tapping into something that allows you to manipulate something? Is not asking God what you want tapping into the programming of this reality? Is not meditation tapping into what you want? You don't believe in simulation theory, but you believe you can control the outcome of a random universe. That makes no sense. I'll prove it to you. I can control the future. I could teach all of you to control the future 5 hours from now. I can have Abby bend reality right now, 5 hours from now. Abby, do you drive a vehicle? Okay, Leisha's saying yes. Lou, I should have a bad reception. Or was that? Did y'all hear? Or was that me? Okay, good. I saw her mouth. Yes. Oh, there you go. Got you. She drives a vehicle. Abby, what I want you to do is I want you to take your car keys and I want you to put your car keys in a refrigerator. Okay, I want you to put them in the refrigerator over the mustard. I'm just going to assume you have mustard. Okay, I'm going to assume you have mustard. Abby's going to put her car keys over the mustard because I want Abby to do something in exactly 5 hours. I want Abby in 5 hours from now, Central Standard Time. She's in Central Standard Time. This is 1900, so that would make it 20. Yeah, that would be 12:31 a.m. Okay. Now, I want Abby for no reason at all to wake up and go to the store and get some ice cream. You understand what I'm saying? But in fact, you know what, Abby? Which I need you to do. Don't put it in the refrigerator. I need you to put your keys outside and put them on top of the hood of your car. That's what I need you to do. Go outside, put your keys on top of the hood of your car. Don't even do that. Abby, put the keys in the car door and just let them hang there. Now, how much do you think Abby gonna sleep now? I bet she wake up at 12:31 a.m. I bet you she do that now. What I just did 5 hours from now had Abby bend reality to where she wakes up and gets those keys out that door. That was so simple. Now, if I can do that with a set of car keys, imagine what I can do that when I understand how to bend reality. Can we talk? The reason why I don't stress is because this world is mine to bend. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, it's interesting you where you're going with this, but we were working with a client, Susan and I, and they were working in an organization and were just completely frustrated in working in the organization. Wasn't getting the credit they deserved, wasn't appreciating it, just felt like the load was on this person. And after listening to them and understanding what they're going through, and they're saying they wanted to get out as quick as possible, I gave them a different perspective. I says, no, what we want you to do is stay with the organization. The elements you're working with, make each element a case study. Then when you leave, you'll be in the position to have all those ready to use. Plus, the company you're working for will hire you as a retainer to keep you on board because you create so much value. And this person never thought of that. They said that thought never crossed their mind. And it was just such a release that we were able to give that person because they never thought of that. And it was interesting from my perspective, it was obvious. I mean, it was like so it's all how you look at it. You know, some people look at it like this and some people look at it like this. And that's why we need each other. That's why we need to bounce ideas off of each other. That's why we need to respect each other's perspective and listen to each other to say, you know, you think about this a different way than I do. Thanks. I appreciate that perspective. So that's what you're saying. So did we bend reality for that person? Yeah, obviously, big time. And we do that to each other. So that's why we need to, when we come to the point, we need to make sure that we're loving, forgiving, and grateful with our intent. Because when you do that, the outcome is pretty much secured.
There's nothing else to do. Right? It's a perfect example of being in reality and then being selfless and being in reality for other people. I have no idea how I am going to end world hunger. I could just tell you that I am. I could just tell you that I am so much that half of y'all believe that I am. Now, how on earth possible could I meet in 7.8 billion people, a few people that agree in alignment that world hunger can be ended? Certainly, that's not what the newspapers say. No, not liberal news or conservative news is saying we can do this. As a matter of fact, to be honest with you, I'm not going to lie to you. I ain't never heard nobody say it in the first place. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, it's not a production problem. It's a distribution problem. We produce enough to end world hunger now. Now it's a question, how do we distribute what we produce to get it where it needs to get to? That's the real issue.
Ain't that the truth? And I'm pretty sure that issue is covered with politics. So how do we get past the political distribution side? Because you fool around and start bringing wealth where poverty has been. They've assassinated people for far less. They is whoever they means. No disrespect to nobody. But when things start getting, it's almost hard to remove politics from a situation. Have you ever seen politics in a church? Have you seen that before? Oh, man. Politics in the name of the Lord? That's a whole different kind of political animal for real. Our job is to bend reality. But did not Jesus do that? Let me see if I can reenact a few things. Give me a second. This is called gospel gumbo. That means in this case, I'm going to take all four of what we call the gospel. There's just one gospel according to Christianity, just one gospel, but it takes four writers to talk about the one gospel. Okay, this is a Christian example. I'll give you the Islamic example here in a second. I'm going to take all four. This is one of those rare pericopes, $25 word for episode. This is one of those rare episodes in which it's in all four. We call this feeding of the 5,000. You familiar with that, Sugar? Let's see how this poor carpenter that had probably some missing teeth. I'm sorry if y'all don't. I mean, he never. Was there a toothbrush in first century AD? Probably not.
Shut up! Come on, he was made in our image, baby, in our image.
All right. You come on now. You know what I'm saying? I know TV is gonna get. I know TV shows you a showered Jesus. You know, but that's not the way it worked. Okay, there was no running water unless you were in the palace. But nevertheless, here we go. Here is this carpenter. He's not even the Messiah. Now, of course, Jaquita's going to say it's the Messiah. In the beginning was the Word was God, the Word was with God, and she's right. I'm not going to mess up her faith. I'm just saying they didn't think it was the Messiah. That's all I'm saying, Jaquita. Don't hit me in the head too hard. That's all I'm saying. I'm thinking about this for a second. Here is this Messiah. This Messiah saying, no. Before the Messiah said, 12 Antonios, because let me tell you, I was every last one of the disciples. Every last. I don't know if you know, Marcello, man, look, all them disciples had issues. Oh, no, I don't know what y'all believe in. It's all good. I know the top 10 religions, eight masterfully. The last two, I'm kind of average, but I can tell you for sure. That's it. That's it, Phil. You read you. That's it. I can tell you for sure. I can tell you for sure, my friends, that 12 Antonios, knuckleheads. Peter was a hustler. Boy, I'm a hustler if I ain't never seen one. Matthew was a tax collector. That's a drug dealer, as far as I'm concerned. You know what I'm saying? That's just pimping out your people to give it to the you understand what I'm saying. Simon was a terrorist. So there was four types of people. You had what you call Essenes. These was like John the Baptizer that went off to the, it's like a monk, went off to the side, sugar, and said, you know what, y'all tripping, and we're going to go ahead and pray and hope for world change. Then you had the Pharisees. These were the people, these were actually people trying to do the right thing. These were people that said, listen, let's preach, let's bring the word to the people, because if sugar changed, then God would stop oppressing us. Where did they get that from? The book of Judges. Because if you sin, God sent an oppressor. If you repented, God sent a deliverer. Oh. So they're just trying to make sure Abby stopped tripping so God can send a deliverer. Then you had what you call the Sadducees. These ain't the people we like too much in the modern day America. These is the pundits, the political people. They ain't really cared nothing about you, Chiquita. They was just trying to eat off Rome. Bring your tithes. We're going to go ahead and hustle. And then you had the people I'm talking about, zealots. Zealots is me, don't you? This the fed up folk. Oh, shucky ducky. Abby, zealots, I don't know if you read your text, it says Simon the Zealot. A zealot was somebody who said, you know what, Phil, you got me, man. No. Nope, I ain't praying no more. I'm done. The next time I see one of these Romans off with their head, we call them terrorists. Zealots was saying, we gonna slice your throat and take back the kingdom. These 12 knuckleheads is 12 Antonio as far as I'm concerned. Because I'm all of them, Abby, wrapped up in one. I pray for you and knock your whole face off at the same time. Sure will. Kill you and give you a good funeral, all at the same time. I'm a knucklehead. Ain't something wrong with me, Jaquita. You let everybody else be saved. You know what I'm saying? But me, as for me, there's something wrong with me. You understand? And in this beautiful example here, Jesus say, his 12 disciples say, we ain't got no food for these people. You know how many people out here, bro? Bruh. There's 15,000 people out here that is not counting women and children. Bruh. You too popular, cuz. Hey, man, all week, man. Let's go look at the text and say, why don't you go ahead and send these folk home, man? You've been talking all day. We hungry as hell. You know, go and send these people home, man. Don't send these people home. Just read the text for yourself. Don't send these people home. And then if you do a little gumbo, it said a little lad say, no. Little Don 5 years old. That's Gianna's son. Little Don said, no, Mama, I got 2 fish, 5 loaves. Jesus said, you know what? Come here, young man. Smile for me real quick. You look just like your mama. Good job. Let me get that real quick. And then off camera, Jesus go, Mr. Reality. Now, you know God got all on well. We ain't got enough food for these people. But since I ain't got no bad karma out there, and I believe 100%, by the time I pull my elbow down, I'm going to need food for everybody plus 12 leftover baskets. Oh, come on now. If you Christian, you ought to be shouting all over because I am doing a good justice.
I'm here with you. Come on.
To your text, okay? Okay, because listen. It's 15,000 people out here at minimum. I can't even hear my heartbeat, and I'm tired, and it's hot. But when I pull my hand down, Lord, Father, pull down for me enough people to feed all the people at Barack Obama's inauguration. Y'all missed it. That's all right. All right, Kiera. And then boom. That's called bending reality. Not just that. Chiquita, they said, listen, Mark 9:23 says, nothing's impossible with God, bending reality. Today upon planet Earth, if I say I'm going to do something, Chiquita, I'm going to do it or I'm going to die trying. And since I ain't died yet, I've been doing it ever since. Somebody missed it. I refuse to do anything that I'm not willing to die for. I refuse because I know if I'm not willing to die for it, I ain't going to do it. I hope I just taught somebody something just now. I don't procrastinate. I don't meander. I don't do none of that because I only do the things that I'm willing to risk my whole life for. Kill me before I fail. See, I'm just dumb. Shaquita, I'm just dumb. I'm not smart. I'm dumb. I was fooled around and walked up on something, and God was like, hey, you can't do that. And I was like, huh? You can't do that, huh? You can't do that. And 1,000 hun later, you know what? Here, fine, you can have it. That's me. That's me. That's me. There's no reason the ATS Business University should work. It makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. It makes no sense that ATS Business University is productive or prosperous at all. It is one of the dumbest ideas on planet Earth. It really is. Hey, you know what? Let's teach, but have people interrupt every chance they get. That in itself don't make no sense.
My Lord, but I gotta jump on it when I can. Hey, I want to just say good night because I love y'all so much, and y'all know I gotta go and do my other thing. But I just, yes. Yeah, I just always like
you got the Goons University, don't you?
Shut up, that good. I like it. It's D Block Church, though. You know what I mean? Hey, it's for the whosoever wills. But you don't.
No
y'all
doubt,
go ahead and do your thing, and I love you.
Hold on. Before you go, do me a favor though. I was thinking about you last night. I want you to go ahead and publish that book. Before you go, I was thinking about you last night. I was minding my own business and something put you in my spirit. And I said to myself, I think she loved that book so much, but she ain't published it because she know by the time she publish it, people are going to be offended by her greatness. I want you to do me a favor before you go out there and talk, because you're about to do a good job. I want you to show me why God kept you alive. Is that fair?
That's extremely fair.
I like it. I appreciate you. Go ahead, Angel. We'll see you later.
I'll talk to y'all in the morning.
All right, then. I love it. She has a D Block church for the goons. I like that. I like anything different and bold. Now, let's talk about how to bend in reality. Everything that exists is in what you call wave form, which is in quantum physics calls it superposition. So let's talk Korean. I just love Korean so much. What state you in, Korean? What state you in? I'm so ghetto.
I'm in Arkansas.
In what state are you? Arkansas. So I should have just said what state you in, because that's Arkansas talk right there. So yeah, if you probably barefoot right now. Talking about Arkansas. Every time I think about somebody from Arkansas, I just think they got their shoes off. It just sounds like you got your shoes off. Arkansas. I've only ever driven through Arkansas. Make sure I get some good steak in Arkansas soon. Make sure I do that.
Barbecue.
Let me say this before I get you queer. Okay, all right. Well, that is the South. Now, that is the South. Now, let's think about this for a second, y'all. When it's time for you to understand stuff, you need to understand that everything is an infinite possibilities. We'll come back to that. Chiquita, come on, add some value to the conversation.
I just have a question. So, based on what you said about the simulation theory, when
I ain't done yet.
When the example you gave, where he lifted up and he put the expectation about what he the expectation out of what he was commanding the atmosphere to manifest, was it a bending? Was it a multiplying really of the fish and the 5 loaves, or was it the reality of the people? What was unseen was now seen because something new was introduced into the reality.
I feel like that's a mighty fine, astute question. I have 2 answers for that, but it's one answer that's kind of end of the spectrum, so it's bifurcated. But it looks like 2 answers. But number one, people in the first century, it's called like first century Jewish expectations, but the whole first century, they didn't have a separation between the supernatural and the natural. We do that because we're 21st century minded. We can't have miracles and reality in the same place. You understand what I'm saying? We can't do it. We can't do it. If I get cancer and I just don't take any medicine, stage 4 cancer, and I don't take any medicine, and I just watch Netflix all day, just comedies, and I go to Monday Nights Humor Consultants and get all that comedy and all this good ATS energy, and then 3 months later, in 3 months, I no longer have stage 4 cancer, they're going to say that was a misdiagnosis.
True facts. I had this one that will tell you this.
Right? They're going to say, well, you know, there was a misdiagnosis. That's what I'm saying. Because we don't have a place in our life for miracles. Put a pin in that. I'm coming back to it. Go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, Antonio, you don't know how true that is. I think I've told this story before. A friend of mine, Jim Gill, 26 years ago, was at the James Cancer Research Hospital. That's what they focus on. And the head of the research hospital was paying attention to these guys because they were big donors. And they looked at him and said, Jim, I hate to tell you this, but you got 30 days. He said, really? He said, yeah. He said, Phil, my son Ryan was in the hallway. I called Ryan and I said, Ryan, they just gave me 30 days, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to beat this. So I tried all the conventional methods, and the drugs made him stupid. And he said, if I'm going to die, I don't want to die stupid. So he decided to go with an alternative cure, which was a clinic down in Mexico. He went to that clinic, and I don't remember the time frame, 30, 40, 60 days. I like to be accurate when I quote numbers. It's just a personal thing. And so if I don't, there was some sort of a time he came back completely cancer-free. And literally, the James Cancer Research Hospital didn't want to hear what he went through. They weren't interested in what happened. And they were supposed to be a cancer research hospital. Fast forward 26 years later, I have one of my best friends that I literally took him out of a store and got him into the bank stock business. And he runs community bank stocks all over Ohio. Is the market maker in bank stocks. He's got throat cancer. I told him the story. Jim will take a phone call from anybody, by the way. He talked to Jim, and 3 days ago, I got a text from his wife, says, it's our 3rd day here, and Greg's already feeling better. So you were exactly right on with what you were saying about that.
Wow. That's it. No, there's no way Phil's friends tapped into the regeneration efforts of their natural bodies, vibrate at a state of healing and healed themselves. No. Misdiagnosis. What I'm trying to tell you is that us this far removed, we're in our second scientific revolution. I'm not sure if you know that. This is the second one. We've gotten so scientific. There is no place for faith. We are too dumb to have faith and too smart to have it. Anyway, I ain't gonna bother you. So I'm not telling you it's wrong. I'm just, well, she ain't saying it wrong. She said a very astute, scholarly question. It was a very good question. What I'm trying to tell you is the people Jesus was talking to, they didn't have a separation between supernatural and natural. They literally, at that time, looked upon Mount Olympus, which is the size of a, 80-story building, and say, oh, there go Greek gods right there. You know, if you put on some glasses, you can see y'all know that, right? Mount Olympus might be the same size as the Empire State Building. It might be. There's buildings in Dubai right now taller than it. Buildings right now taller than it. But guess what? They saw golden bricks and golden roads. You know what I'm saying?
Mount Olympus is 9,573 feet.
So a mile is 5,280 feet. So it's almost 2 miles high. 1,730 meters. For those of you out of America, which is most of the world. Think about that for a second. That's not so high to where you should start seeing Greek gods and Roman gods, which is just Greek gods renamed. Right? Now think about this for a second. The second thing I want to say towards what Jaquita asked. So the first thing you should understand is there was no separation between, supernatural and natural. Mm-hmm. The second thing here is, does it need to be explained? Does it? I know we need it to be explained. And I'm like the worst of all because I am like an over-explainer. I'm doing it right now as we speak. Like, I am the worst. Because I'm an intellectual. I need everything explained. Everything explained. You're in an explaining university. But how you got out that worst car accident you ever had, can you explain it? Mm-hmm. Remember when you were supposed to be divorced? Uh-oh. I'm not talking to everybody. I'm just talking to folk who are real. Remember when you had to swallow all your pride and beg to be forgiven? Remember when you were so mad that you thought you was right and you had this little voice in your head saying, I'm a no, stop it, but you didn't stop it and you took it too far and he or she didn't talk to you for a week and you couldn't eat, you couldn't think, she or he should have left you and they did, but came back. How'd you get out of that? How'd you survive? How many of you, like me, my hand up first, I said like me, have suicidal tendencies? My hand up first. My hand up first. My hand up first. And how many of you know for sure you shouldn't even be here today? Can you explain how you here? Because I can't even explain how I got out the trash can. I can't even. I don't know how. I don't know how. I know I got the jail record to prove I was in it. Right? Yeah. I know that much, but I don't know how I got out of it. I don't. I know I've been in jail 17 times. Why am I free? Why I ain't got no felonies? I don't know. All I can tell you is, to the point of Jaquita's question, I don't know what happened, Jaquita. I just know that what was written down, I respect. Help me, somebody. And this ain't got nothing to do with me being Christian, because I'm a terrible Christian, okay? This ain't got nothing to do with me doing that. This ain't got nothing to do with that. I respect sacred texts. Because somebody, first off, how they even in existence today, that's pretty miraculous in itself. Do you? Oh, let's talk about your New Testament. I'm sorry, I thought y'all knew this here. Let's talk about the Quran. I'm sorry, I thought you knew this here. When the Romans decided to kill everything Marcello believed in, Antonio believed in, well, if it was the living word, Jaquita, what do you do to something that's alive and is dying or dead? What do you do to it? You bury it. The reason why y'all have a Bible today is because everybody buried the living world in one of the driest places on earth. Do you know if they buried the word in Texas, wouldn't even be no word? First off, we got groundwater. Like, I'm not even sure if you Google how many wells are in Texas. Let's start there first. Our office is 7 feet below sea level. Fathom that for size. The ATS office is 7 feet below sea level. The seawall of Galveston is 17 feet high. Where I currently speak to you right now is below sea. How you gonna bury something below sea level? You fool around and kick your heel enough, you might kick up spring water. How you gonna bury papyrus paper in water? So what are the odds? The stuff was buried for millennia. Let me ask you something, Adam. If I came and robbed your house right now and you knew I was gonna kill you, you knew I was gonna kill you, would you bury your social security number and your bank records? Nope. Come on now. Come on. Don't make no sense that people buried stuff, but it was worship, it was living, it was buried. Your sacred text, Muslim, Judaism, Christianity, Sikh is a little different in this case. It's a bunch of, no, maybe not. All of that was preserved through some miraculous filling. Here's the point, y'all. I don't know what the hell happened. I just know I ain't smarter than whatever happened. I said something. I don't know what happened, Prophet Jerry. I just know I'm not about to take my 39 years and try to argue with over 2,000 years of savoring of a text and then a whole 12,000 years of a people's history. I'm not going to jam 39 years. When I become 12,000, then I'll argue. Yeah. Is that fair? Yeah. But until then, I ain't got nothing to say, Sugar. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Bending reality. Everything exists in superposition. Infinite possibilities. And your conscious mind collapses those infinite possibilities. Go ahead, Phil. I know you got something good.
The 34 Gospels.
Come on now.
They found 34 Gospels, and it was the Council of Nicaea that decided to put Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John into the canons. But there's the infant Gospel of Jesus, of James. There's the secret book of James. There's the Gospel of Thomas. There's the infant Gospel of Thomas. There's the Gospel of Mary. Gospel of
all
Peter,
of the facts.
Gospel of Saviors. There were 34 of them they found.
Mm-hmm. There's a Gospel of Mary. There's a Gospel of Thomas. There's a whole gospel with just all of Jesus' sayings. Oh yeah, some scholars call them fringe. That means on the outside of. There's a gospel that said Judas was not bad at all. Judas took upon himself to betray Jesus so Jesus could change the world.
Yeah, when you think about it, there we are at the Last Supper. Jesus said, by the way, somebody's going to betray me. And Jesus goes, and Jesus looks at Judas, and Jesus goes, oh, I'm supposed to betray Jesus. Then he'll win it over and he'll put us in power. Great, cool. I could do that. I get to do that. So that could have been his, because Judas was the money changer. He was the banker. He was the one in charge of all the money. So when the scribes and the Pharisees paid him off, he said, I wasn't interested in your money. Here, take that money back. I didn't do this for the money. I did this because this was what I thought I was supposed to do.
And the text says he gave his money back. And then there were 7 different criteria to accept or reject scripture, or it's not scripture. Accept or reject church teachings as scripture. I'll give you the top 3. Apostolic authorship. This means it had to be written by a disciple or an apostle. Or actually, that's not right. Written by a disciple or someone who walked, worked, and lived with the disciples. Paul was not a disciple, but Paul worked very well with Luke. Apostolic authorship. Get it? Mm-hmm. Paul was actually the first writer. Paul wrote and said Jesus died between 32 or 34 AD. Just depends. We don't know for sure because King Herod tried to kill 2-year-olds to newborns. So we don't know if it's 32 or 34, right? And you get it 2 years. But what happens is Paul started preaching at 32 or 34 AD. Literally. That's number one, apostolic authorship. Number two, going inside my brain, is date. Actually, number two is date. It means that the Gospel of John, the book of Revelation is the latest book added and written. It's about 90 AD. It means it had to be written about 1 to 2 generations after Jesus died. It means that I can't write about World War II right now. No, I can write about World War II and have it be an official book. That's 1941, 45. But my kids cannot. And number three, it had to match church teachings. Does this writing match church teachings? Those are your main three criteria of how the canon was canonized. You can just Google it. It's okay. I just happen to have some experience or scholarship in it. And every now and then, Abby, I get to show you how much money I spent to school, and there is one of the cases right there. There it is. Okay? I don't get to do it often, but boom, there you go. I get to show you the $400,000 I spent just to recount to you 3 random things. Okay? Now, think about this. When one bends reality, one must observe. Remember I showed you that cartoon, The Conscious Observer? Think about this for a second, Ashley. If everything is in superposition, what's superposition? It means that one particle on a microscopic level, on a quantum level, is everywhere at the same time. It means that when I put my cell phone down, Chiquita, and you don't know where I put it, when you walk in here, my cell phone is everywhere and nowhere at the same time. Now, we have scientific evidence that superposition exists because we've recorded it. Just Google superposition, one word, and you will see one molecule spread across 300 different places. You get 3,000 different places, but that's too small to see. But you don't have to believe me. Has anybody ever drank coffee? I have a cup of coffee right here. Coffee is so hot that the molecular molecules in coffee are nowhere and everywhere at the same time. You gotta believe me? Ask Stephen Hawking. He's the one who researched this. If you look at coffee on a molecular level in your cup, it's everywhere and nowhere, and you can't see where it's going. Why? Because quantum physics says 2 things, Jerron. It says if you know how fast something is going, you don't know where it is. If you know where something is, you don't know how fast it's going. But you can't know both at the same time on a molecular level. You have 3 different sciences that monitor and control the 21st century today. Number 1, you have Newtonian science. That's Newton's laws, right? You know, the big things. Number 2, you got classical physics. That's the really big things. That says that this is a cup. Anybody disagree this is a cup? It's pretty cuppy, right? Pretty.
That's a cup
pretty
for sure.
cuppy. That's a cup for sure. Quantum physics says, no, it's not. It's 90% empty. Because it's not a cup. It's energy. And all that empty space ain't empty. It's energy. Why? Because E equals mc squared. Energy equals mass times the speed of light twice. And the only reason this is a cup is because there's so much energy in this cup in which it became mass. And all 3 sciences work today and are true, and you cannot disagree with any one of them. It just depends on how you're looking at something. Which brings me back now to the bending reality. Did you know that every time Big Daddy, what is it? Chiquita, what's your whole name, Greg? You got no. It's like you got 3 of them.
Chiquita
What's your
Darnell
married name?
Proctor.
Proctor. Did y'all know that Big Daddy Proctor every time he rub her neck and say, "Baby, you look good today." Every time that happens, he ain't touch her at all. Oh no, this is scientifically proven. Every single time Adonia kick her feet up and say, "Baby, rub my feet." I got my wine in my hand, rub my get between the toes. Every single time that happens, them feet ain't got rubbed at all. The energy force field over our bodies is what touch each other. We never touch each other at all. It's the truth.
Wow. Antonio,
look it up.
Blowing minds.
What'd you say, Gerard?
I said,
I came
blowing minds.
Oh man, I came to mess your head up, man. I came to mess your whole head up. Y'all don't need your head no more. You know, put a basketball up there, man. That'll be equally as functional. Okay, equally as functional. Come on, ask me that question.
So if you never really touch people, just your energy that surrounds your body, so why do people lift weights to get stronger?
Indeed. So you never touch weights, you touch the energy of those weights. The electrons touch each other, and then that, of course, becomes the resistance in the body. Your electronic field and the electronic field of the weight bar, because remember, everything's energy. None of this is real. The electronic field and the electronic field touch each other. And that is how we touch things. That's not hard to believe, because you got protons, electrons, and neurons. Come on, y'all know about this here. Muscle resistance, that resistance, but we're not touching the weight bar. We're not touching the weight bar.
So when you punch somebody, it shows.
You're punching their electric field. That's right. That's right. Like we never did. I know it's weird, but we have all the science for this. We do. Everything truly is energy, including you. It is. When God said, let's go back to the Christian example. When God said, "Let there be the world," did God create Facebook? No. It kind of just happened through energy. What came first, Facebook or the energy thought of it? What came first, Chiquita or the glass of drink her mom and her daddy had? I don't know. I'm just saying. Between Luther, that Merlot, and a good mood, then Chiquita came 9 months later. I saw a post February 12th. That said, "Listen, y'all better wear a blank." I don't know how many kids around in 2 days, because we don't need no more Scorpios. I'm about to die laughing. Go ahead, sugar. What's y'all?
No.
Oh, okay. She said she didn't mute. All right, she didn't unmute. Now, conscious reality, bending reality. First off, in order to bend reality, the first thing you need to do is you need to retrain your subconscious mind. Fortunately, I taught that, but I'll teach it here in a second. The first step you need to do to retrain your subconscious mind is you need to what, Grace? Step number 1.
Wait.
It has story.
The story you tell yourself and others.
You need to control the story you tell yourself and others. Phil has a good book right now called The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you how I know the following information. I have no idea. What I'm getting ready to teach you is not reading the book. At least to my knowledge, it's not reading the book. It's absolutely not reading the book. Okay, I have no idea. Now I know sourcely, but I'm not going to say that here on this call. Number 1, you got to control the story you tell yourself and others. Number 2, then you have to control your limited beliefs. This is why I like Jaquita so much, because Jaquita has beliefs, but she is not limited by her beliefs. Jaquita is, I don't know what happened. I ain't got nothing to do with that, but she is now seeking truth. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I ain't had nothing, like, I'm not the guy who did it to her. I'm just the guy messing her head up. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, that's it. That is it. But somebody messed it up before I got here. You understand what I'm saying? I don't know what happened. You know, maybe the death of the grandmother or something. I don't know what happened, but what happened, she got here, and that's how she got here. You understand? But I can tell you for sure that the more you think that you can't, I believe one of those smart people said that, Henry Ford or something, is the more you can't. You're right. The more you can't, if you think you can't, you're right. If you think you can, you're right. Your limited beliefs. And number 3, it is your fear of consequences and judgments. Let's talk for a second. In order to bend in reality, the first thing you have to do is you have to control the story you tell yourself and others. If I walk up on you right now, Ashley, I tell Todd, it's just an example, okay? Okay, what Marcello at? I need somebody to have my back, okay? Just tell Todd, it's just an example. I look at popped up in there, all right? It popped up in there. If Mr. Cup walk up on Ashley and slap her for no reason at all, whatever's in Ashley is coming out of Ashley. Come on now, don't fool me now. Don't fool me, Ashley. It's just an example. I keep my hands to myself. It's just an example. I see Todd come over like, what you talking about, player? All right, there you go. Think about that. If I walk up on her, ooh, that was too loud. That was disrespectful. That example was disrespectful, okay? Think about that. Now, see, there's a Lord have mercy, this boy finna die that day on camera. Oh, the whole Zoom call, he dead. Y'all gonna have to do, you know what? Or she said, you know what, that's good. Slap me. ATS is mine. This is AW University now. Okay. But think about this for a second. Because when I'm talking about the story you tell yourself and others, Jaquita, if somebody off the streets, because Jaquita from the hood, I'm not sure if y'all know that, run up on Jaquita and slap her. I mean, I ain't talking about no now. I'm talking about where your face bruised up with 4 fingerprints on your face. And I'm not talking about these kind of fingerprints. I'm talking about the whole fingers. Y'all know what I'm saying? She light-skinned, too. Open face slap. Come up and then slap. And it's so and then do it in front of people and her kids. So how about that? The story Jaquita tell herself and others is gonna show up. That make sense, Prophet Jared. You can do all that preaching and teaching all you want to, but that may not be the story you tell yourself. Listen, Prophet Jerry can prophesy. Antonio, let me 10 minutes. I want to prophesy. But yeah. Try Jesus, not me, right? You know what I'm saying? Look, he can prophesy all he wants to. Let me run up on him and slap him. Whatever story he tell himself outside the prophecies is going to show up. That's subconscious. See, now, if I tell him, hey, man, I'm going to slap you, then now he gets this practice behavior going on. Okay, when he slapped me, I'm going to do this because Abby is watching. But if I just randomly do it, how many of y'all know what I'm talking about? Oh, I didn't mean to hit. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. How many of y'all been scared? Somebody was doing a practical joke, and you actually, your arm just accidentally went out and popped up in the mouth real quick. Just oops. I'm so sorry. It was an accident. Yeah, because the story you tell yourself and others is if somebody surprised me, they got to die before me. Is that fair? Come on now. Now let's go back to my slap example of Ashley and Todd. I slap both of them at the same time. I slapped Ashley and Todd. I'm getting stumped out that day by 4 feet. 4 of them. You understand? 4 feet. She only got 2. I mean, listen, y'all, let me tell you something. There is no way on planet Earth, Jaquita, Your husband act just like me. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna let somebody do me like that in front of my Chiquita. You crazy. I gotta go home and then tell her to cook me something to eat. And I just got slapped in the whole face. Y'all can get that later. Anywho.
That drive home.
The drive home, I better not even say where the food at. You ain't ask him where the food at. Anyway, I ain't bothered that. That's the story you tell yourself and others. It's there. It's there. Now, when I tested y'all earlier today, you're going to be a millionaire in 3 seconds. Your limited beliefs popped up, didn't they? Your limited beliefs popped up. Now, some of you are like Adonia. Where you at, Adonia? You driving? It's 8:20, 6:20 that she might be driving. Some of y'all like Adonia. See, Adonia been doing a good job for a good time. And you know what they come to Adonia and say? What you gonna do for us? Help me, somebody. They come to Abby the same way. What you gonna do for your people? Uh-oh. How many of y'all right now would already be a millionaire? This ain't for everybody. It's only for like 3% of y'all. You'd already be a millionaire right now, but your mama got so much of a problem with you being successful that you held yourself back so your mama ain't got to argue with your success. I will put my weight on this whole class if you lie to me. Okay, I got Prophet J. All right, I got some other folk. Come on now, or maybe it's your daddy. Some of y'all right now, the only reason you're not successful is because your daddy would die if you was better than him.
Wow.
Is it? Actually, they cut me off. Actually, I'll be thinking, I don't feel sad. I'm good. All right. Now, so let's think about this for a second. Think about this. That's judgment and fear of consequences. Some of y'all, the only reason y'all not successful is because your family put you in a position where you bet not be better than us. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Y'all hear that? That's powerful, y'all. That's powerful. If you're going to be in reality, you need to control your story you tell yourself and others. Slap. Because I know the story. Actually, I want to save the whole world. You understand? I do. No, I do. Actually, let me tell you. Bring Todd over here. Bring Todd over here. Bring Todd over here, Ashley. Tell Todd, come here. Tell my man, come here. Todd, I want to save the whole world. I want to make sure Todd is a gazillionaire. That might not even be the same, a real word, but I want to make sure Todd's straight, Todd's son straight, and Todd's son's son straight. But if you fool around and slap me, I'm not thinking about being straight that day, Chiquita. I see y'all don't want it. Jerron, I know, I appreciate it.
You better say that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate you, Jerron, looking up to me. Nah, I do. I'm grateful. I'm grateful. And here's the deal. I can fool around. You can slap me all you want to. I won't do nothing. Because I know it's coming, right? You know what I'm saying? But if you slap me by accident or by my accident and I ain't ready for it, it's going to be some furniture movie, as Bernie Mac said.
It's hard to turn the other cheek.
Bruh.
It's hard to turn the other cheek.
I wish I had a coin on my toe. I'd put my whole coin in where the sun don't shine.
That's like a stab in the back. Dang.
Bruh.
Listen,
Bruh.
I'm going to lay these hands on you and then I'm going to pray you back to wellness. But listen.
I'm asking the Lord, heal him. Heal him as the IV is in his whole arm. That's the story we tell ourselves. See, we don't bend reality because we already told ourselves what reality looks like. Starting to make sense. I know we got comedy in here, but it's starting to make sense, don't it? We don't bend reality because we told ourselves, if this happened, I'm acting like this. You don't believe me? All right, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. I got you. I got you right now. I got you right now. Corinne, he cheat on you. What you gonna do? Uh-oh.
We'll take to bring up the past. I did my soul work.
Okay. So essentially, she told herself how she gonna react 13 years from now if somebody get out of line. Is this making some sense to you? That's not been in the reality.
Years in the past. Yeah, back there.
Look, I get you. Listen, I'm not mad at you. How many of you crazy? I got my hand up first.
It was crazy.
I got my hand up first. I feel you. Listen, I got my hand up first. Dan already got it. You got answer, Queenie. Y'all like, they don't even know. They don't even know I don't say I got a hand up first. I had to say, listen, you leave me or you do this to me, I'm gonna kill you and them. I did say it. I ain't gonna lie. All right, there you go. Got the Queenie, got the other. All right, got Tanya. Yeah, ask you like, you know, a little church finger up. Yeah, all right. You know what I'm saying? This is the whole point of change. We change. You know what I'm saying? We change. But if you'd have caught me in the story I used to tell myself in my early 30s, late 20s, that was a whole different kind of story I was telling myself. See, I'm too old to go to jail now. When I was 20-something, I thought it was cool. I was going platinum. I was a rapper then. I was going platinum, 50 Cent style. 50 Cent style. You understand? I go to jail. I was going, yeah. I'm going platinum. Going to jail, drop a whole album. Going platinum. Tupac style. You understand? I'm just trying to show you that we can't bend reality because we tell ourselves something and we follow that. I want everybody right now, I'm going to move it to you because we're getting ready to end. I'm going to go about 15 minutes over, but think about this for a second. Probably less than that. I want all of you to think about the one person in your life that never, ever, ever apologizes properly for what they've done to you. Come on, go there. Go there right now. Oh, Lord. Uh-oh. I'm about to. Disclaimer.
You about to piss me off.
I love her so much. Disclaimer. If this happens to be your spouse, okay, you already decided to let you cut a whole camera off. If this is your spouse or significant other, you've already decided to forgive them. Don't you let me get you started and you bring up old stuff tonight or the next 300 nights. Okay? That's a disclaimer. All right, there we go. All right, put that out there. But I should still say it here. I want y'all to think about, and it might be more than one person, but I want you to think about them right now. I want you to think about the people right now, people or persons right now that have never given you the respect you deserve with a proper apology. Think about them. See their face. It's got hair on it, pimples on it. Smell them. I want you to smell them. Get close enough in your mind when you smell them. Think about how they look right now. I want you to see their teeth. Look at them. Come on, see them. See them. See them. See these people. Now ask yourself, how many dreams have they made you not get because you feel that way? I got them that time, Phil. I got them that time, Phil. Phil, I got them that time. Okay, I got them that time, Phil. I got them that time. All right, I got. All right. This is Come on, Deanna. I want all them tears on camera right now. No. You put them tears on camera. Come on now. Somebody gonna get help. Come on, help Corinne.
My mama, and I'm gonna use the language, so my mama used to piss me off.
because no matter what I did, no matter what, if I did something for me, she was never supportive of it. As long as I was doing what she wanted me to do, I was good. So there's a lot of stuff that I did not do only for the approval of my mother.
Why are you helping somebody?
I literally wanted to go to school to be a veterinarian. My brother went to Tuskegee University, one of the top HBCUs for veterinarian medicine. Because I knew she wanted me to go just to watch him, I chose not to go. I allowed my anger for my mother and the place that my brother had in her life. I made the choice to allow it to stop me from living my dreams. And that's just one thing. I literally, and I'm the oldest. So no matter what, I was always responsible. No matter, she could come home to a clean house, cooked food, homework done, and will find something to beat my ass about. And every day I'd be like, what did I do? I only wanted her approval. And because I wanted her approval, I chose not to do certain things that I wanted to do. So when you said what you just said, all that anger that you have for them, how many dreams have you sacrificed? How many dreams have you lost behind the anger you have for somebody? I lost a lot.
You ain't the only one.
But at the same time, you also teach us that God is in our mistakes. I wouldn't be sitting here today had I done that. But at the same time, I allowed my anger towards somebody else to remove so many of my blessings. So when you said that, it never hit me like that before. It never hit me like that before. I allowed my anger for my mother and her not apologizing to me or me wanting her approval so much, I allowed that to stop my blessings.
Can I get somebody else to get on this samurai sword? Yeah, they clapping for you. Hold on, y'all. Go ahead. Y'all move your mic. Clap.
Yeah, that's
clapping for you.
Yes.
For Diana.
Yeah,
Love you.
buddy.
That's the truth. Yeah.
Uh-oh. Come on, Corinne. Come on. Give it to me now.
Oh, we were having our conversation that Tuesday when I called you and I was like, hey, I've gotten so many words since I've been here at ATS. And I refuse to live my life in riddles and not getting a full understanding. So I'm like, hey, let's connect the pieces. Let's close the gap. Let's do this. I want to get it. And the one question you asked me, and I remember that I never answered it, and it just came back up again right in this moment. And you asked me, who is the person that I hate? And I was just like, what? Huh? Who? What? So yeah, that was a person that I hated so many years of my life. And I put it in past tense because I thought I was past it, that it was over, it was done. I got delivered, I testified about it, I let it go. And it was my grandmother.
I am laughing at you right now.
Oh, I wasn't even looking at you. What'd you say?
I'm laughing at you right now. I got delivered, testified about it. Did that work?
That shit didn't work.
No, that's right.
I'm sitting over here right now, 44 years old, like I'm that kid that was back in Poplar Grove, just reliving those experiences as if Deanna's mother was my grandmother, because she did some of the same bullshit. You was never satisfied. You was miserable in your own life, and you took that out on us. You was bitter and hurt. Yeah, I understood so much later once I became old spiritual and could see her life different and see her spiritually, but I still didn't do anything about my baggage and the issues that I had. And yeah, and all the dreams that I let go of, and all the things, and how that has stuck with me, and how I despise tough love, because that's exactly what it reminds me of. And how I almost lost God and left God and my promises. How I was willing to leave ATS and leave everything else. How I would go from place to place, creating the same experiences. Because that's what it reminded me of. How I don't even like the term family because of what it reminds me of.
I can relate. I just start liking the word mama 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Keep going. I just want to put myself out there and bleed with you. Go ahead.
And there's no blood. That's the crazy part. It's like, there's no blood. The blood is already dried up. This shit was just laying dormant inside of you. And then something happens and it just pricks it. And then you experience it again. But it's a whole nother person with a whole nother face. And it's just like, damn.
Deep, yo. Deep. Come on, y'all clap for this queen. Clap.
Thank you.
It's a big deal.
Come on, guys.
It's rough out here, y'all. It's rough out here.
Wow.
It's rough out here. That story you tell, you can't bend reality, Jaquita. Man, it's your grandmother. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Uh-oh. All right, that's just.
I know you was finna pick.
Let me. You know, let me get some of y'all. I know your daddy. Get on your nerves. How many dreams you gonna give up for him? Uh-oh. I know your mama was jealous of you because you was everything she wanted to be in herself and had to put her life on hold because she had you. Uh-oh. How many more dreams you gonna put to the side because of that situation? I know God doggone well you had that whole baby, gave your whole life up, struggled for your child and that man. And then he fooled around and divorced you. And now that you grown, your baby gonna act like you ain't raised him or her and want to go to that trifling daddy that you ought to have in jail right now. Ain't never paid no child support. I'm here. Come on now. Come on now. No. Y'all don't know nobody like this? No. But how many dreams you gonna put to the side for that? Think about that.
Antonio.
When I got to the... Oh, yes, sir.
Man. I ain't got my hat. I can't take an offer. But let me tell you. Speaking with Deanna about what we're doing, it opened up because I'm the oldest. My brother went on to college. My brother went on to doing stuff. And I ended up basically doing nothing.
Yeah, he was the golden child, is what Deanna said.
Yes.
Is that you too? Okay, keep going.
Yes.
Keep going. You in Deanna driveway.
You know, seeking for love, seeking for improvement, and then even being grown. And I said it in my video today, been wanting to write a book, but because people said I didn't go to college, because of people said, and this specific person, before she deceased, love her to life, even though she's gone, but really didn't believe in me. Believe in me that I went to church and did like Deanna said. Believe in me, and I went to church and sung on the choir and did everything she wanted me to do, but didn't believe in me. And that hurt. And today, my brother, not this literally today, but today my brother's calling on me and needing me. The one that went to college, the one that went to had a full scholarship, and now doing nothing with it.
You got some amens over here. You got some amens over here. Keep on going.
And I love him to life, wouldn't do anything for him, but I was the one looked down on. And then poor Jerry, because he's been in all these accidents, and he's broken up. Poor Jerry, he can't do nothing for himself. But I may, wow. But all that is over with this year. She gonna be looking down on me and smiling down on me this year. Even though I would love to see it, but I know she's gonna be looking down on me and smiling once ATS get done with me. Thank you. But yeah, it hurts.
Thank you, sir.
It hurts. And you said, and I said it in my video today. Listen, when you get a chance, listen to my video. We sleep on our visions and dreams because of people. We miss out on business. We miss out on all of that because of family, because of people. But there's a song that Beyonce and another girl, I can't think of it right now. But when, I'm gonna go Christian for a minute. When Jesus say yes, nobody can say no. But so many times we still say no when Jesus is saying yes. I made you, you're wonderfully and fearfully made in me. You are, and then what you said today about the prison and the palace, man, I'm about to throw my hat at you. But anyway, yeah, so been there, because mama didn't want me. Mama threw me away. Thought I was going to be influent, thought I was going to be retarded. But we built that relationship before she died. But man, it's crazy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I get it. Let me tell you something. All y'all with mama issues, I get it. My mama left me for dead in a trash can. All y'all with daddy issues, I get it. My daddy left me for dead in a trash can. I get it. But you've mastered your life as we close. When you love the people who hated you, and when they no longer make your armpits sweat, your heart beat fast. You mastered your life, Samuel. When you no longer have to defend yourself. You've mastered your life, Chiquita, when you no longer even alter your mood when you think about that. My friends, this has been bending your reality. Should you want to bend your reality? And I know some of you right now, you are hurting. But when you start hurting and grateful that the hurt comes from not regret, but realizing you hated somebody you didn't have no right to hate. When you realize that, you know what, even though they should have justifiably been hated, that was energy that was unworthy of you. When you get to that point, when the voice on the outside of the world becomes lower than the voice on the inside of you, when you get to the point where you stop realizing and just start being, when you're grateful for others, then you'll be okay. Adonia, you want to say something?
You know, I was trying to be real quiet, but I can't. This will be real quick. I'm in my car, so that's why I'm not on camera. But you know who I needed to say? Whew, Lord Jesus. You know who mine is? It's me. It's me. It's not my mama, it's not my daddy, not my sister, not my brother. It's me. I hated me. And that is no longer my story. And I guess this is confession night, so I will confess. I'm over it. I'm over it. I love me. And I was my own rescue. I had to figure it out. I can't put that blame on nobody else. It was me. And thank you for this conversation, because I was getting an attitude for a minute. I'm good now. I'm good.
Deanna said that's the second. You just gave her the second revelation. What was that second revelation, Deanna? Let Adonia know she spoke well.
First off, I didn't know that that's why I was angry at my mama until you asked the question, until you said what you said. And I'm sitting here thinking, and I'm crying again because I'm like, man, I can't even be mad at her no more because it was my fault. I chose to not do the things that I desired to do because I wanted her approval so bad. I was the one blocking me, not my mama. I was the one stopping me, not my mama. I am the golden child because if I would have done the things that I wanted to do, if I would have done the things that was in my heart, I would have been a better example for my little brother. But I was too busy trying to get the approval of somebody who was actually pushing me. I wouldn't even be where I'm at. If I would have lived my dreams instead of, if I would have been myself and not trying to be my mama, I wouldn't even be angry at her. So I can't even be angry at my mama no more. I can't be, because today is not even her fault. I can't expect my mother to apologize to me for something that wasn't even her fault.
My friends. Oh, Corinne, go ahead. Sammy too. Okay, I was just for the go ahead. I was just for the end it. But if y'all confessing, I'm not gonna stop you from confessing. If you gotta get out of here, you go ahead. I'm about to end it as soon as they confess. But if you gotta get out of here, you go ahead. But if you need healing, just sit down and rinse it off. Go ahead, Corinne, then Sammy.
It's so silly. Yes, because really the good thing is, and I was just like, man, there's no bleeding. Like, yeah, the internal stuff, it still happened, but it was great to realize that it still was laying dormant in me. And it still has, affected some of the choices that I made. But the smile and the glow is because in spite of the things that I went through, things that I experienced in my life, the choices that I made and choices that other people made, the place that I'm in right now, I'm still a vessel and I have a story, and I'm able to take people who were where I was and bring them to where I'm at now and where I'm going. So I just thank God for it. And even when, like I said, oh yeah, I testified about it up there, all of that other formality and religious stuff and traditional stuff, but there was still other parts that needed to heal. And when I be like, oh, doing soul work, that still was just more, and it was just in there because that thing still was there, even past the church, and even came over here with me. And I believe there was even another answer I could have gave you, which you know that already. But that person represented my grandmother, and God did that work just last week and severed it. Yeah. So
look at that. Proud of you. Happy for you. Happy
Thank
for you. Samuel? No, thank you. Thank you. And I'm glad, hold on real quick, Samuel. I'm glad, Corinne, you stayed around for as long as you have. I'm not talking about the class. Yes. I mean for all the months. You're welcome here to be a leader anytime. And you can run out of money. You still here. You know what I'm saying? All right, go ahead, Samuel.
Yeah, tonight definitely is a true meaning to nothing new done under the sun. Whether it was a father or a mother that did it, different people on here had the same experience. And that's why I'm so thankful today that that part about my mom, it don't even rattle me. So just like, when she had said, what was it? Today is 2021. So 2019, when she had made that statement, I wish I had to flush you down the toilet when I had a chance. In October, when she said, you was a waste of a nut. See, that normally used to send me to get high. And normally the first person I see, I'd have punched them dead in their mouth if they'd even looked at me wrong. Even though I used to put and then I would be right on the breakthrough or something. And every time I let something that she used to say bother me, and I would self-sabotage, hit that self-destruct button in the middle, used to. And is it hard sometimes? I mean, not now, but it, going through as I listen to everybody, I've been where they at, because now I'm 52 going on 53. No, it wasn't always easy. You know what I'm saying? That's why I hustle at that high rate, because you told me what I couldn't be. And here was the thing. She tried to live through me, which happens to people, where me and one of my kids' mothers got at odds for that. Because she tried to make me, what is that resume that the hedge fund and the boardroom boys like to see? I went to church, was in the Cub Scouts, church, Cub Scouts. I played the trumpet and the piano, because she wanted me to play that classical music. She wanted me to do all those things. But when I needed to step into y'all wait till me and my father started doing this thing. Because she even made a statement, but it used to bother me, why I'm not like a whole lot of my partners that have gone to jail and came back out, but the support system was different from their mothers. They would encourage them to push whatever it is they wanted to do, as they wanted to be a barber, a band member. I got partners as producers, but it is a hard hump to get over, but people can get over it because, see, I remember one time my pastor said, break the cycle, man, break the cycle, going to jail. Because one day I called him, I said, I'm going to go to jail because somebody did something and said something that was very close. And I called him and said, well, I won't be at church Sunday. I guess you're going to have to find you another armor bearer. And because I let it push that button, but again, I got myself hemmed up once again, because it never happened. I tried to get out of there, and they looked at my past record, look at the bottle of Hennessy on my seat, which I hadn't even drank. But again, I put myself in that position because God gave him the straight word, like break that cycle. So there was stuff that I had done myself and self-sabotaging, but y'all just keep pressing, y'all keep pushing. Now you're going to have some good days and some bad days. And it's funny because I was just thinking this week about the thing with my brother, and I was praying for my brother because she's a person of influence. Strong person of influence, actually. We call her the Black Jew because she'll work you. But today that I'm over that, but y'all just stay strong. And I'm praying for y'all when I go to bed tonight, that if y'all are still there working your way out, that y'all can get to y'all total victory. Because see, a time like right now, I'd be messed up. Like, I'd be ready. Look, I'd probably be still off camera driving to the store. Like, because I'd be trying to suppress my feelings or my emotions. But it's good y'all letting it out, because when you hold it in, and that resentment eats up. And if anybody sees this later in a replay, the resentment would tear somebody up even more than it would you tear yourself up more in resentment and the anger towards whoever. And like you said, forgive as you have been forgiven. And like Corinne said, you know, you go and you testify, and yeah, I went through that whole little phase there and everything. But now, matter of fact, she ain't even spoke to me since October, and that's because I ain't let it affect me. Like, no, I say, you know, love you. I ended it with love you. That's what I ended it with the last few years. Love you. When she act like that, she don't even know what to do with that. But in all that said, that's all I want to say. Y'all stay encouraged. Y'all will get there. And I celebrate the fact that I got there. Y'all have a wonderful night on that note.
Oh, yeah, everybody, but yes, clap for everybody.
Thank you so much,
about
brother.
to have a wonderful night.
Yes.
Everybody about to have a wonderful night. On behalf, I'm going to pick out who is the most aware people in the room. And I don't mean that in a bad way. But from Phil, Susan, Deanna, myself, Grace, you're right where you're supposed to be. And that's a good place to be. Antonio T. Smith Jr., you can plant better. You can dominate. Thank you, everybody. We see you tomorrow for all the stuff that we do on tomorrows.
Love you.
All right, everybody.
Thank you so much,
Love you
Antonio.
You're welcome, Jerron. You're welcome, man.
Do
All
it
right,
all.
everybody. Y'all have a great one.
Yes.